What's up, guys? My name's Unique, you know on me, and I'm gonna just have like a little tutorial on how to make a clicker type of simulator, where you click and then you basically get your clicks. I just I was just just I recorded already, but I lost all my files because I had a music in the background, whatever. All right, main thing starting off with when you load in, you'll see players, under players. That's me, right? That's what the client is, right? And on the other side there's a server. So basically, here's what dictates stuff. So there's starter GUI, starter pack, starter player. These three is what the client basically, what the client has, what the client starts out with, their tools, their UI. And on the server side, this is what the server has access to, right? And in here, you run a server script, right? Server script is basically like this prints hello from the server, right? From the server. Now, if you do the same thing from here, but a local script, right? It'll print hello world too from the client. See, hello world, hello world. So let's say you wanted to make like a clicker simulator, right? You had your buttons and shit. Right here, you got a text button, and it's like every time you click, I'm gonna give you 1 coin. Wonderful. How great. So you make a system, right? First, you need like, let me go on this game again. Damn, bro. I lost top five. Alright, bro. Shit. Here, so you go here, you know what I mean? Hold the weight. Yoga pose of the day. See right here? You'll see it shows your ranks and your diamonds, you know what I mean? And you want something like that, right? So essentially for that, this thing called connections and services, right? So I showed you that I exist as a player right here under players, right? So we're gonna get that, right? We're gonna do players equals game, get service, players, and that's you, right? That's the whole thing right here. And now you want, whenever a player joins, you want them to say hello, right? So you do players, not player added, and we're gonna connect it. It's like just ties. You know what I mean? Like whenever, let's say we're playing, not even Legos. Let's say when we're playing like build a brick or whatever. I don't fucking know. So you have this, and then obviously you have these. So that's basically what a connect is, right? So this is whenever your player joins, right? Whenever your player joins servers, Roblox is like, yo, there's this piece right here, and then now you fill it in. You add your own stuff in here, and you connect it, and now it actually works. So you connect it with functions. You can basic stuff like functions and stuff, right? You can find those in basic tutorials, right? Basic tutorials anywhere, even in Roblox. Right here, there's guides, Roblox Studio for coding. You can see everything, script editor, right? Script analysis, whatever, whatever. This is the easy stuff. Harder stuff is getting adapted with Roblox itself. Learning about networking, right? What is the client and what is the server? So first, you need to make the leader stats, right? And I'll show you without code how to do that first. So on here, you would make a folder. This is how Roblox interprets it, right? And you call it leader stats. Okay, and now you add another a value, right? Let's say you have what's it called, a number value, see right here, and it shows automatically, and you call it coins. Obviously it doesn't update because Roblox isn't so dynamic, but let's say we make this value 20 and it still doesn't work because you need the value, and yeah, see, value 200, right? And that's what we need to do, but in scripts. So to do that, you would first uh this passes the player. Okay, back to the connect. We're connecting a function, right? You know what a function is, local function one, and we do one. That's what it is. It's just like set of instruction that you can call at any point, right? And we're calling functions whenever the player is added. So we do print player, right? So whenever I'm added, it's gonna say unique dummy, and when you reference unique dummy, see, it's this right here. So as I said, we need a folder inside of here, right? So we make a new folder. If we wanted to make an instance is everything you see here. These are all instances, right? Instances is what dictates Roblox pretty much. So let's say if you wanted to make a folder instance, you do local folder equals instance.new folder. That's how Roblox makes their stuff. And now let's say we need to name a leader stats, right? Because that's how Roblox interprets the leader stats on the top right corner. So we're gonna go name equals, leader stats. But if we log in, we can peep that it actually doesn't do shit. Cause actually what you need to do is you need to parent it, right? It needs to be below player. So we do folder dot parent equals player. Now if you go back, you can see it's right here, leader stats. That's amazing. Now let's say you want coins, right? Local, same procedures. We're gonna create an integer value, right? Integer, is the normal stuff. Integer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no decimals. And we're gonna name it coins.value equals coins. And we're gonna make it parent to the folder because we saw that it must be parented to us. And really, see, right here we have value. And I tried to make the name the value. See, coins.name equal coins. Coins the parent equal folder right there. And now we're gonna have coins and it's gonna be the parent. So now on the client right here, we have a button and we're gonna learn throw a local script, right? A local script is essentially just script that fires from the client. So if you see right here, the client, the blue is client, green is server. So now we're gonna get the players again, right? This local players equals game, get service players. And now we want ourselves, locally. Since we are in a local script, we can use what's called a local player. So local player, this could be players not local player. So, and it shows it right here. So right here, the player local player is the player that the local script is running for, right? And you can see that it is running for me. It prints from the client, so my side. So local player is always going to be me. So it's going to be same thing as this. Now that we know that this and this are similar, now we can find this and this. We can see that folder is below player. So we can now dictate that local folder equals local player dot folder. But this most likely won't work. I'll tell you why. Two reasons. See, folder is not a valid member, but you can see right here it's a valid member. This, you gotta call it leader stats. My bad, my bad. Leader stats, and we can still see that it works, but most time it might not work. If the player takes too long to load, it won't work. That's why you must use wait for child, right? It dictates that it will be loaded and it will wait until it isn't. And now we're going to do the same thing for finding coins. Folder wait for child coins. Now if we do coins dot value and we're going to add 100,009, I guess, is gonna make it 1009, right? So that's from the client. But the thing is, let's go back in, right? I have 1009 on my screen, but if we go back to server and then we see it right here, it says 0 because the server does not know how much. Server knows how much you have. You have a 0, but on the client you're setting it at 100,009. Whatever you do on the client doesn't usually replicate to the server. Only in certain circumstances, like your character, which we really want to talk about. And that stuff, right? That stuff is really vital when you're trying to make anything. I've seen a lot of people try to do a lot of stuff from client when you really had to do it from the server. Okay, this goes for data saving. This goes for anything that's vital, right? Anti-cheat, everything. You want to handle the main stuff on the server, but you want all the visual stuff, right? You want, like, let's say you have a VFX going. You want it on the client because there's no reason to do it on a server, right? A server is just code. It's just server is just codes essentially, right? It just holds your data. While the client is what you're seeing visually, it will render it with your GPU power. So get that out of the way. So now that we know local script is right here, we can put it under a button and we can see that it's right here. So if we wanted to do that, right, first we do local button equal script. That's ourselves, that parent. So that's the button, right? And we have another function event here. It's mouse button one click, and we're gonna connect to it with another function. So now we print one, we can see that whenever we press this, right, we can add it. Obviously, That's pretty easy. Now you can be like, oh, okay, so whenever we're at it, I'm just gonna make it so your value increases by 1. So now you have a basic clicker simulator, right? It won't work like that because, as I said, shit, my bad. The server needs to know. The server needs to fucking know that you're clicking it. So you gotta tell the server, and the server needs to do it. That's how you keep away the hackers, the exploiters. So now you need to communicate from server to client to server, and those are done through remote events and remote functions. You can see right here, it tells you the description. We're gonna use remote events. You can look deeper into it, right? Now we're gonna reference that remote event. Remote event, we're gonna be game. First, this is replicated storage, right? So you gotta call that service too. Right here, and we're gonna do replicated storage on remote event. So every time we click, we're gonna do remote event fire server. So every time we click, we're gonna tell the server, yo, I just clicked this shit. And now on the server side, we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna copy this, right? We're gonna copy like the directory where it's at, and it says I need these two, right? Because it needs to know what replicated storage stands for. So whenever a remote event fires the server, right? There's another event happening. So you gotta connect again, make another function, and this player, right? Now this player is always the player inside, right? Every time you're doing either a function, remote event, or remote function, the first parameter is always gonna be the player, because the server knows, right? The server Roblox knows who sent it to you, and Roblox always makes it that the first parameter is the player, and that's really vital. Okay, for example, you want to make it so that whoever sends you a remote event, you kick them out. You want to know who the player is, right? And this is vital. So in this case, it's vital too, because now since we have this, we can also direct find this and this, same way what we did with this. So we're just gonna copy these two, right? And since I told you this equals that, that means this also equals that. So right here, this will also equal that. So we can just replace this right here. So now we have points. So now whenever it does that, whenever the player says I clicked it, we're just gonna increase the value of the coins by 1. Now when we play, you can see that it adds, right? It adds. And it works on the server too. So if we go on the server side and we do leader stats, we check it right here, it will be 18. Exactly. So now the server knows. Last thing, exploiting, right? Checks. You can use a hacker can do this. About event. Every single frame, it can fire it, right? It can tell the server I clicked it without even clicking it. You don't even need an auto clicker. And now the server's like, holy shit, he's clicking so fast. I'm gonna keep adding numbers to him. That works, right? That's how hackers exploit. So you need to have a defense against that. You need to check. And the most usual way of doing this for this scenario is having a cooldown. And and uh and there's more then there's debounces and there's everything else and there's hella tutorials on it. But I'll tell you the most basic thing. Debounce is just a boolean, right? Debounce equals false. And we can be like, what's it called? If debounce, then return end. So that means like if we're on cooldown, then return end, and we're gonna make it so we're on cooldown, and we're gonna wait wait 1, and we're gonna make the bounce false. So that means every time we click, there's a 1 second cooldown, right? See, and it works. It works. But this isn't optimal because there's multiple people firing to you at the same time, right? So let me show you a test with 2 players. I'll show. So there's multiple people firing at the same time. It won't really work because we have the same cooldown for 2 players. You know what I mean? So if I click it, you won't be able to click it for a second either. I'll show. There's a visual demonstration right here, and it doesn't work. Hold on. Oh, Roblox is breaking. What the hell? All right. You know what? That's crazy. Roblox never works. Anyways, so uh it works right now, but if there's multiple players it won't really work. So you need to have like a table, right? A table, array, or a dictionary. uh is where you keep your other variables, right? You can have everything on the table, there's tons of documentation about it. And the easiest way to do this, having a custom cooldown for every single player, is just doing cooldown table, player. Player will be the index, or you're gonna make it true, right? So this replaces that. And then we're gonna wait a second. We're gonna make it so nil. So that means we're removing the player from the cooldown table. So now we're gonna check if cooldown table player, then return end. So this is the same thing as a debounce, but it is different for every single player, right? So now every single player can click and it'll wait 1 second before it can do that, even though we are firing. So I'll warn. So look, the client is telling you it's keep on clicking, right? But the server is like, nah, you're probably cheating. You know what I mean? It's probably cheating. You know what I mean? It's gonna wait, type shit, wait for a little bit, and be like, all right, I'm gonna validate your click now, and look, it works for a second. And that's basically the basic of anti-cheating, networking, communication. There's tons to it. You can go deeper. You can learn more about other stuff. You can learn about VFX, GFX. You don't even to learn about this stuff. That's basically it, man. Catch y'all later, type shit.